walk of shame. What? Did I get you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Poor fucker.
I thought about it. I was like, either go puke out there or I'm going there. Yeah.
You did puke, eh?
Oh yeah, I puked. First time I puked at work.
Good shit. We are due for another YouTube video, and here we are. We're gonna do it right here, right now. So the last 2 weeks has been busy. It's been very hectic. So hence the lack of getting a YouTube video up. But here we are. So quick kind of rundown of the last little bit. So we did the diet break, which you guys saw that video, right? So because I was dropping quicker than necessary, Cliff, my coach, opted to give my body a bit of a breather. So we did that week of higher calories, which was like an extra, I think around 600 calories a day. We ran that all week, including my typical refeed day. So that day was pretty, what's the word? I'm going to use juicy. Pretty juicy at 3,600 calories. So that was all kinds of fun. But so that week, my body weight really didn't change from kind of that 164 range, which was super interesting. And this prep continues to be so different than any prep I've ever done before outside of being a dad. It continues to throw different scenarios and stuff at me, which is cool for me to see as an athlete, but also as a coach. The more information I learn through my process and knowledge I gain through the journey I'm on, the more I can then understand and apply for clients in their specific situations. But so did that, and then like I said, my body weight didn't really change, and then went back to baseline calories last week. So we just returned to the pre-diet break numbers. So around, I think it was around 2650 a week. And then the high day around 29. And that week, interestingly enough, my body weight actually climbed a bit to early 165. So interesting that the week I had higher food, the scale didn't really budge. The week I go back to baseline, the scale was a little higher. Now, with that being said, our son is definitely going through a bit of a growth spurt right now, as far as he's definitely got teeth coming in. His top 2 teeth got to be coming in soon, and all kinds of fun stuff, because we're coming up on that year milestone, which is crazy. But with that, definitely some more restless nights. So I imagine just the lack of sleep quality for me probably impacted the scale a bit, which we saw way back when he was a newborn. We had to push my calories a lot lower to get my body to drop body fat, compared to now, when even now when I have poor sleep, it still pales in comparison to when he was a newborn and I was on no sleep. So anyways, went back to baseline, and scale, like I said, it kind of bounced up to that 165. It'd be 164, 165, so not dropping. And then, like you guys saw at the beginning of the video, we went to a professional wrestling event in Toronto, which was super cool. If anybody knows me, knows I'm a big wrestling nerd. So it was super cool to be at an event like that. I've never gone to something so big and extravagant. So went with Carrie and my parents, packed all my food. If I remember, I'll put up a couple photos, because I did take a few pictures. But I basically put all my food that I needed to in baggies, so I could just throw it in the garbage, because I had my one thing of Tupperware, which I was able to leave in the car. But then after that, because we took the train in, so I was at least 2 meals, traveling, where I was man, I don't want to take Tupperware, because then I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to have to throw it in the garbage. So I put all my food in baggies, and then just once I ate it, threw it in the garbage. But unfortunately, that came with me throwing a spoon and fork in the garbage, which one of the spoons was Carrie's mom, so my bad. But you do what you got to do. And actually, I had packed a protein bar to have as my last meal while we were at the event, because I was I'm not going to take anything substantial in there. I'll just throw a protein bar in Carrie's purse. Well, of course, she got searched having the purse. I should have just threw it in my pocket, but they threw out my protein bar, so I lost my last meal. But thankfully, on the way back, which now is like midnight from Toronto, she had a protein bar in her purse. So I crushed my last quote-unquote meal at like midnight Saturday night. So we ended up getting home at like 2 a.m. and crashed at her mom's, just for simplicity's sake. Beckham stayed at her mom's. We're like, you know what, we'll sleep there and then we'll just go back home in the morning. So got home at like 2, and I had planned to train with my client Jeff in the hometown in Belleville Sunday morning. So I was like, man, I'm gonna be there, you know, we'll meet up, get a lift in, it'll be a good time. So I had originally said 8 a.m., not really thinking we'd be back so late. So I'm like, okay, you know, if we're home at 2, 8 a.m. is going to be a stretch. So I had messaged them when we were on the train back at like, I don't know, 9:30, 10. No, it was like 10:30. And I was like, yo, I still want to train tomorrow. 8 might be pushing it. Can I just shoot you a text in the morning? He's like, yep, no problem. Sounds good. All right, perfect. So I ended up waking up at like 7 o'clock, which is later than normal, but still obviously early after going to bed at 2. So I was running on like 4.5 hours sleep, and I was wide awake. I'm like, you know what? We're here now. Let's go get it done. So I messaged him, and thankfully he was awake. I was like, yo, legs at 8? He's like, sure thing, sounds good. So when I get up, of course, me being me, I had packed our scale just to have consistency with weigh-in. So I stepped on the scale, and it said 162.5. And I was like, what the fuck? That don't seem right. Checked again, 162.5. I checked probably 4 or 5 times, and I'm like moving it around on the floor, making sure like it's not getting caught on a tile or something that's like skewing the number. And every time, 162.5, 162.5, 162.5. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is crazy. So after holding that 164, 165 all week, boom, massive drop. And Cliff said prior, he's like, if we see a big drop again this week, we might bump your food up a little bit. To what extent, to be determined, but you know, we don't need to be dropping like, you know, even north of 1.5 pounds is aggressive right now. Like, I got time, so like 0.5 pound, 0.7 a pound a week right now is enough for us. So I did my high day on Saturday, and historically I drop after high days. So I was like, man, if I'm 162.5, like what am I going to be on Sunday morning? So sure enough, Sunday morning, stepped on the scale, held that 162.5. Holy smokes, crazy. So we'll see. We'll see if it sticks on Monday. Mondays is when I check in. So Monday comes around, sure enough, 162.5, held it. So that's from the Monday prior, it was 2.4 pounds dropped. So Cliff's like, yo, diet break again. We're throwing more food at you. So we bumped things up a little bit compared to the previous diet break. So I'm actually consuming more calories, which is this week right now as of recording this video. So I'm back up to, I think it's like a little bit north of 3,200 calories across the week. Saturday will be the high day again, which I think is just above 3,600. And this week, I definitely feel the food bump. Scale's back up to like that 164 range, but I definitely feel fuller, and my body does look a bit leaner. So that scale bump is definitely just like a glycogen replenishing. Like, I'm not gaining body fat. I've held that 164 for the last 2 days. And yeah, so that's where we're at. So today is Thursday. So this coming weekend will be 15 weeks from the WNBF Pro Hercules and 21 weeks from the Canadian Natural Pro Qualifier. And we're in a good spot. Really, really good. We're still very much ahead of pace. Visually, things are coming together really, really well. Still probably looking to see by the late April kind of breaking that 159, 160 mark. But it'll be interesting to see like how quickly that 162 shows back up after going back to baseline next week. But yeah, so there's your update. That'll have to do for this YouTube video. I'm trying to think what else I can add. What else is going on? Oh, Carrie made sourdough. My wife took on the challenge of making sourdough, and it turned out really well. She was skeptical at first. She was quite overwhelmed because it's quite the process. For any of you that are watching this that either make sourdough, you obviously know the process, but if anybody's inquiring about making sourdough, it's like a 3-day event. with like a lot of steps, but it turned out really well. So last night we did homemade burgers and potatoes, and instead of my English muffin, I was like, cut me a thin piece of sourdough and I'll use that. And it was very, very good. It was very tasty. And obviously I can't get the exact macros on the sourdough, but I was like, you know what? We're fine. We're in a good spot. This slice of sourdough looks to be similar size to the English muffin that I would have had anyways. And here we are this morning. Scale didn't budge. It's not like we overshot by like 100 grams of carbs with a slice of sourdough. So yeah, feeling good, guys. Feeling really good. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was kind of a thrown together last minute, but sometimes when life is busy, this is what we can do, right? We can get this up. So thank you guys for watching. Appreciate the support as always. I got a message the other day about someone just saying thank you for sharing your process and detailing the prep to the extent that you do. Obviously these YouTube videos are a bit more infrequent. I'm trying for that once a week upload, but Instagram I'm documenting something pretty much every single day within prep. So if you want to follow along a bit closer, hit me up on Instagram for sure. But yeah, I really wanted this year to be like an educational prep for people and show how things are done from my end, and detail that process in which I'm undergoing for myself. So I appreciate the kind words, guys. It does not go unnoticed. So anyways, thanks again for watching. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Follow Natty News on Instagram. Follow, subscribe here on YouTube, and we'll see you guys in the next one.